So today we'll be getting the achievement on Overwatch. Finish a mission as a veteran on a malice or higher without taking any melee damage. These are the best two options to do this. Option 1, the cheese. Have the person who wants the achievement dive off an edge at the start of the level, do the entire level without them. If the level doesn't have an edge, using a fire barrel will do, but you need to make sure that they don't get meleeed while in the down state. Defensive, because it only counts as melee damage if it hits your health, playing defensively using the veteran shout for excess toughness when needed works surprisingly well. Do note, if a boss singles you out and you aren't prepared to dodge or parry, it can just end the run, as they for the most part do melee damage. If you have a group, then I'd recommend doing the cheese. It's not bad getting through a malice difficulty mission with a few bots, unless you do stupid things like we did. If you are solo, I'd recommend going the defensive route, which I feel I should dig a bit deeper into. For build, we are going to want Survivalist for the slow drip of ammo, grenade regen, the shout, but do not take the revive pip as the increase in cooldown isn't worth it for what we are doing. The pip here for reduced CD on ability for specialist kills is nice, as it will increase the room for error by giving us more uses of our ability throughout the mission. I'd recommend the Marksman Keystone, especially if you are running something with high rate of fire, as Weapon Specialist requires you to get in melee, which is ill-advised given the task we are trying to accomplish, and Focus Fire is kind of mid in my opinion. For playstyle, try to keep a distance and try to tap heads so you are using ammo efficiently. When you are getting swung at, there is this noise. You can use that to help know when to dodge, like when enemies are swinging behind you and stuff like that. Talking about enemies behind, generally I would say don't bother with them, but in this instance, checking around you and making sure there isn't ads grouping up behind is rather helpful, especially if you are with a team that isn't moving quickly. For difficulty, doing it on malice is fine. You either want to be solo with the bots or with a full group. I found doing it with just a single random person, they would ignore objectives and do silly stuff, and the bots would choose to follow them instead of me, and it made it actually harder to get any objectives done without taking a hit. For map, if you are doing the cheese, Refinery Delta 17 has a nice edge you can jump off of right at the start, and it's not hard to get far enough where you don't catch the ledge, so you don't have the problem of the bots picking you up. If you are doing it with randoms, my usual go-to of TRS 150 isn't too good because of how it does its spawning, and the layout being more geared for melee combat. So instead, I would recommend something in the Carnival or Enclave and Barros, as the spawning for both maps is more linear and predictable. It may take a few tries, and if you are having trouble with the bots or can't find a 4-man through matchmaking, you may need to up the difficulty. I find the higher the difficulty, the better the teams stick together, and sticking together makes this one a lot easier. Best of luck, may the Emperor protect.